Share this with Wigan have already beaten 3 Premier League teams, including leaders Manchester City, to reach the FA Cup quarter-finals, but can they make it 4 and reach Wembley? The League One side's last 8 tie with struggling Southampton is live on BBC One at 13:30 GMT on Sunday, with Leicester against Chelsea following at 16:30 GMT. Lawro is pitting his wits against a different guest for each round of this season's FA Cup, and his opponent this time is comedian John Bishop. Media playback is not supported on this device. Bishop will be addressing the England squad for this year's Sport Relief on Friday, 23rd of March, after taking on the mission to help them win this summer's World Cup in Russia. Bishop is a Liverpool fan who is backing the Reds to return to winning ways against Watford this weekend. I was going to say 17-0 to Liverpool, but that would have been a little bit biased, Bishop told BBC Sport. So I am just going to go with 11-0. No, really it will be 3-0 to Liverpool. We are still unbeaten at home in the Premier League this season, and I think we are on a roll at Anfield at the moment. After extra time, there are no replays in the FA Cup quarter-finals, and the ties will be decided on penalties. A correct result, picking a win, draw or defeat, is worth 10 points. The exact score earns 40 points. All kickoffs 1500 hours GMT unless otherwise stated. Swansea v Tottenham, FA Cup, 12:15 GMT. Harry Kane is out for a few weeks, but I think Tottenham have shown now that they can manage without him. They certainly did against Bournemouth when he went off. Part of the reason for that is the fabulous form of Son Heung-min, and, when you look at Tottenham now, he has joined Kane, Dele Alli and Christian Eriksen as a really key part of their attacking threat. It will be interesting to see what Mauricio Pochettino does with his forward line in Kane's absence, and if Fernando Llorente comes into the starting lineup, because he has not made much of an impact this season. Swansea, meanwhile, got a great draw at Huddersfield when you consider how early they went down to 10 men. They defended brilliantly. Media playback is not supported on this device. This is probably a more important game for Pochettino than it would have been following Tottenham's exit from the Champions League, and I would expect him to go with a strong lineup, especially as we are heading into an international break. But Swansea will not make it easy for them, and I think they will go the distance in this tie. There are no replays now. We are into the FA Cup quarter-finals, so it will be decided on the day, and I think Spurs will edge it. Just Lawro's prediction, 1-2 after extra time. John's prediction, 0-2 Bournemouth v West Brom, Premier League. I think West Brom are gone. Their hopes of staying up are all over, and they can probably start planning for a life in the Championship now. The Baggies are 8 points adrift of safety, and they have only won 3 games out of 30 so far this season, and I don't see any signs of a dramatic improvement in form. I would fancy Bournemouth to win this game anyway, but they have a big incentive because victory would see them take a big step towards safety themselves. The Cherries almost always concede. They have kept only 1 clean sheet in their past 20 matches, but I would still back them to win and climb away from the relegation trapdoor. Lawro's prediction, 2-1 John's prediction, 2-0 Huddersfield v Crystal Palace, Premier League. If you had asked me a month ago, I would have said that Crystal Palace are the team climbing away from trouble, and Huddersfield are the ones sliding into it. That has reversed over the past few weeks. Wilfried Zaha's injury was a big blow to the Eagles, and it is no coincidence that they struggled without him, and slid back into the relegation zone. But he is back now, and that is a boost for them. They are no one-man team, but, the way Zaha has been playing, he will always make a difference. Huddersfield had to settle for a point despite dominating against 10-man Swansea last week, and I think they might be held up again here too. Lawro's prediction, 1-1 John's prediction, Palace have had some tough games lately and played well but been unlucky to lose, so I think they are due a win. 0-1 Stoke v Everton, Premier League. Everton have managed one away win in 15 attempts in the Premier League this season, at Newcastle. In December, the Toffees rolled Brighton over easily at Goodison Park, but they have not produced that form on the road all season now. It does not matter too much, because Everton looks safe now and they don't need too much more to be completely sure. It is different for Stoke, who have become draw specialists under Paul Lambert. At the very least they have to get a point here too. Lawro's prediction, 1-1 John's prediction, Everton have not been doing well away from home, but Cenk Tosun is on a roll with goals in his past 2 games and I can see them taking it. 1-2 Liverpool v Watford, Premier League, 17:30 GMT. The reverse fixture was a thrilling 3-3 draw on the opening day of the season, which is something I do not see being repeated here. Liverpool should have won that game and would have done if not for defensive errors. They were hopeless at the back and it was game over as soon as they went 2-0 down. You could say that they suffered from a similar problem against Manchester United on Saturday, because Dejan Lovren should have done better with both of the United goals. Media playback is not supported on this device. The way Liverpool defended was not good at all. but they are still dangerous going forward. If that clicks again, I would go with a routine Reds win, which would lift them back into third place in the table. Lawro's prediction, 2-0. John's prediction, 3-0. Man United v Brighton, FA Cup, 1945 GMT. Manchester United were on a decent run of results, but they have suddenly put themselves under pressure by their non-performance and defeat against Sevilla. It was strange to see, because we had seen them show some fight to come back from behind twice against Chelsea and Crystal Palace in recent weeks, and they also beat Liverpool at Old Trafford fairly comfortably on Saturday. So I was expecting Jose Mourinho's side to kick on, but the opposite happened instead. Media playback is not supported on this device. Mourinho's comments in his press conference were bizarre too. It felt like he was saying don't blame me and that people should not be surprised to see United lose because he has won at Old Trafford twice in the Champions League with other clubs before. That was not the message the supporters would have wanted to hear, but that is Jose for you, I suppose. It will be interesting to see if there is any reaction against Brighton, because the United fans will certainly expect to see one. In some ways this is a decent game for them to bounce back in, but I cannot see United running riot, even if they do improve. The Seagulls only lost 1-0. Via a Lewis Dunk own goal, when they came to Old Trafford in November. Media playback is not supported on this device. Chris Hughton's side were rolled over too easily at Everton last week, but they will be well organised, and if United to win, they will have to earn it. Lawro's prediction, 2-0. John's prediction, I think United have got their name written on the FA Cup, to be honest with you. 2-0. Wigan v Southampton, FA Cup, 13:30 GMT. Seeing Southampton change their manager was probably the last thing that Wigan boss Paul Cook wanted to see in the run-up to this tie. Because Mark Hughes replacing Mauricio Pellegrino will bring a reaction from the Saints players. Media playback is not supported on this device, as well as Wigan have done to reach this stage. I think this is where their FA Cup adventure ends this season. That is not all bad news, because it means they can turn their attention to getting promotion out of League One. Because before they beat Bradford with a late goal on Wednesday, their form had just started to dip a bit. Lawro's prediction, 0-2. John's prediction, I think if there's a surprise in the FA Cup, it will be in this tie. Wigan have got a lot of momentum behind them, and they have not had an easy run to get here. I fancy them again. 1-0. Leicester v Chelsea, FA Cup, 16:30 GMT. Like Tottenham and United, Chelsea are out of Europe, and the FA Cup is their only hope of a trophy this season. The tricky thing with predicting Chelsea's results at the moment is that you just do not know what kind of performance Antonio Conte's side are going to produce. Part of the reason for that is that they have a little bit of a soft centre, which is a bit of a worry for Conte. Chelsea defender Andreas Christensen is only young, but he is making mistakes while he is in their team, which is the last thing you want from your centre-back. You want him to be learning from those elsewhere. Leicester have been ticking along quite nicely in recent weeks, and I thought Jamie Vardy's goal against West Brom last time out was absolutely sensational. Frank Lampard said on Match of the Day that it was his favourite goal of the season, and I am absolutely behind him on that, because the technique Vardy used to execute it with his weaker foot was unbelievable. The Foxes have got home advantage here, and, you know what, I am going to go with them to edge it. I just have a feeling that they will absolutely fly at Chelsea, and we know they have got the quality to beat them. We also know Conte's side are quite a moody team at the moment, and if they have another bad day then they are going out. Lawro's prediction, 2-1. John's prediction, I just think that when it comes to the FA Cup, Chelsea know what they are doing. 0-1. Lawro was speaking to BBC Sports' Chris Bevan. On FA Cup 5th round weekend, Lawro got 4 correct results, with no perfect scores, from the 8 ties for a total of 40 points and a success rate of 50%. He was up against YouTube star Tekker's Kid, who got 3 correct results, with no perfect scores, for a total of 30 points. From the last round of Premier League games, Lawro got 8 correct results, with 3 perfect scores, from 10 matches for a total of 170 points, his best score of the season. He beat Arnie and Justin from the Vaccines, who got 6 correct results but with 1 perfect scores, for a total of 90 points. Shows weeks where Lawro had more than one guest, and only the highest score contributed to the guest total. Lawro's best score, 170 points, week 30 v Lawro, average after 30 weeks. Lawro's worst score, 40 points, week 4 v Human and Bell, week 5 v Non-Stanford, week 21 v Darren Campbell and week 23 v Sharich and Baines. Share this with